Welcome to Chapter 9 of the Wisconsin Journey, Good Times and Bad Times. If you have time, please take a look at places to locate, timeline events, on the bottom, captions, words to understand, and people to know. Lesson 1, Life After World War I. If you have time, please take a look at people to know, places to locate, words to understand. Caption, people enjoyed new kinds of dances in the 1920s. The Roaring Twenties. People wanted to forget World War I. Factories stopped making war materials. Factories started making things for people at home. There was enough work for everyone. People wanted to buy all of the things they saw in store windows. This time is called the Roaring Twenties because of all the new things people did to have fun. There were goldfish swallowing contests and all-night dances. Sports were popular too. The Green Bay Packers played their first season in 1921. They won 10 out of 11 games. Like other Americans, people in Wisconsin started listening to a new type of music called jazz. Jazz started in African American cities in the South, especially New Orleans. The music spread to cities in Wisconsin. Women started working at jobs that had only been open to men. Women cut their hair short and wore shorter dresses. Women cut their hair shorter and wore shorter dresses. Women who did this were called flappers. Sometimes this shocked other people. The Great Migration. Starting in the 1920s, many African Americans moved from farms and towns in the South to the cities in the North. They moved to Milwaukee and other cities in Wisconsin. This was called the Great Migration. Black people left the South for several reasons. States there had taken away their right to vote. Southern whites made laws that blacks had to follow. The laws were called Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow laws were used to keep white people separate from black people. Caption, KK members wore white hoods to scare people. Wisconsin portrait, Harry Houdini. Harry Houdini was born in Hungary. He moved to Appleton with his family when he was 4 years old. Houdini soon became a trapeze performer in the circus. Houdini was also interested in magic. He read about Robert Houdin, who was a great magician. He learned that in the French language, when the letter I is added to a word, it means like. That is how he got his name, Houdini. His real name was Eric Weiss, but he wanted to be like Houdin someday. People liked to watch Houdini's escape tricks. He could free himself from ropes, handcuffs, boxes that had been nailed shut, and locked jail cells. He made many movies. In the movies, he always got free. African American students had to attend schools just for blacks. They had to sit in the back of buses. Public places like libraries and parks were segregated. African Americans could not go into the white sections of public places. Water fountains had signs above them that said white only or colored only. Movie theaters had colored only seats. Even cemeteries were segregated. In the North, jobs in industry paid well. Black people could vote. Schools were better. But many whites did not want to live or work with blacks. People would not give blacks an equal chance because of their skin color. There were still not many African American people in Wisconsin. Most of the people in Wisconsin lived in Milwaukee, and they could only live in the worst part of town. Schools were segregated. There were no segregation laws, but rules and understandings kept African Americans segregated. A group called the Ku Klux Klan in Wisconsin. A group called the Ku Klux Klan attacked Catholics, Jews, immigrants, and especially African Americans. Klan members wore white hoods to hide their faces. They did not want people to know who they were. A newspaper in Madison published an advertisement for people to join the Ku Klux Klan. The ad read, "Wanted. Men of ability between the ages of 25 and 40 must be 100% Americans." A few years later, however, the Ku Klux Klan in Wisconsin had almost disappeared. Most people thought the Klan was very un-American. They did not like the bad things it did.